Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to JOECMDRAWZ, welcome back to a new video. Today I've got a new character that's part of the Goldilocks Pirates I want to show off to you, but I'm not happy with it. I've got lots of sketches and developed designs to show you, but I'll elaborate more on that later, so stay tuned. Okay, so new character. So I've been on a roll lately. I had our captain that I designed, Captain Goldilocks, and I recently designed our second member of the group, Black Oil Blake. And I knew I wanted to add another character. I want my crew to be nice and diverse with lots of different races from all over the One Piece world. And I thought, what better next to start with than a mermaid or a merman or somebody from Fishman Island, whether they were like a previous Sun pirate or whether they could be like some sort of like royalty or whether they were like some sort of like warrior or something, right? And so I just began designing, and since I already had two male characters um, already previously designed, I wanted to design a female character. Now, I've got some really basic initial sketches here. I had some references that you don't really need to see. They were just like screenshots of characters that I'd taken from episodes that I'd watched, from the older and the newer ones, some from the concept art of One Piece. But there was just like Nami and Boa Hancock and other like prevalent female characters, even some merfolk there like Shirahoshi. Yeah, I was just using them as reference. I was trying to figure out kind of, okay, what do I want to do? I knew I wanted to make a kind of interesting and unique. I didn't want to just make a mermaid type character, kind of like Kami, I believe her name is, the mermaid that the Straw Hats met. I didn't want to just make a generic mermaid. I wanted to make an interesting, unique character that could have some interesting traits that could actually help the crew. And so I wanted to do something with deep sea creatures. I love deep sea kind of like monsters and creatures, kind of like the anglerfish is one of my favorite. And I thought that would be really interesting. We could have this anglerfish type mermaid that could maybe like be laughed at or kind of like ostracized from the other like kids or groups of people in the kind of like fishman community, and maybe she could like run away or something, because kind of like Katakuri, she has this kind of big underbite, obviously because of anglerfish have these like huge jaws and large teeth and beady little eyes and stuff like that, and they're generally quite scary. And I thought that'd be kind of interesting, maybe some sort of like scary kind of like female character that could be quite strong but also look kind of scary, intimidate a lot of people. So these are just some of the initial sketches that I've got. As you can see, they're kind of rough, more reminiscent of early One Piece, because I personally like that a lot. Not to say that I don't like newer One Piece, because I really, really love that. The Wano arc, oh, beautiful. But I really like the old One Piece art style as well. I think it has a special place to show the progression of One Piece. And so I was trying to go for more of that kind of look. So on this first one here, she's just got this weird hair that's like tied up in this kind of like ponytail, I guess, and stretched back here, kind of generic One Piece eyes. She's got like this big underbite with two teeth, almost kind of like a Jinbei. She's got kind of like a generic kind of like gills on the neck, and then she's got this like big anglerfish kind of like light dangling down there. And I thought, okay, that's a pretty cool thing to run with. Maybe on the ship she can kind of like be the light at night almost, where she can like guide the ship at night. It's very rare that you see in One Piece that there's a lot of fishmen on actual pirate teams. There's very, very few. I mean, Jinbei is one of them. There's very few. Either all the pirate crews that are made of fishmen, like Arlong's pirate crew, are pretty much just all fishmen, but except for Nami. But in One Piece now, we don't really see that many like inclusive pirate crews. So I wanted to include somebody that was kind of interesting and a little bit different, and so this would be a pretty cool role that she would play. So these are just some of the initial sketches. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Do I put her hair in a ponytail? Do I put it in a bob? Do I have it be buzz cut? All sorts of stuff like. So these are just like exploratory, quick sketches that I'm not really bothered about. So I'll show you some developed designs. These are some more developed designs here. So it's like, okay, what if I change it up a little bit? I don't want to just do anglerfish stuff. There's other deep sea creatures that could be really interesting. And so the one on the right here is a little bit more of a fleshed out version of the anglerfish-eyed idea with a little bit of light here just to show like how that would work, and I developed the hair a little bit more. It's slightly copied a little bit from Jinbei's look, where he has that kind of big shaggy kind of like top knot, which I kind of like the look of, and then you've got these kind of like shaved bits here. And then it's almost like this big cowlick there as well, which is kind of interesting. And then obviously we've got some light here that's like bouncing off her little like anglerfish light there. If anybody knows what that's called, I'd love to know that in the comments. But yeah, and I've actually changed the position of the gills from, you know, the neck that's kind of just generic and boring to like on the face, because I saw with some of the fisherman designs that they had gills in all sorts of different places, not just on the neck like you would assume, that some were on the face, some were on the body, some were on the arms. So that was kind of interesting. And the one on the left here is a completely subversion and change of the design completely. Because I think I was getting a little bit bored of the anglerfish design, and like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit more with other deep sea creatures. So I thought, what other thing have we not seen in One Piece? What other kind of like fishman or mermaid that we haven't seen in One Piece that would be really interesting to explore? And I thought, jellyfish. Jellyfish would be a really interesting idea. That would lead to some really cool design elements, and it would also lend itself to be a really cool character. So I fleshed out this, like I sketched out this really quick character here, which I think looks really good. Like I said, a lot of the early One Piece characters, especially the females, even now I think, look a little too similar. I know a lot of people have that little bit of criticism with Oda's work, where some of the female characters look way too skinny and thin, and they all look a little bit just the same, and the males have way more range and difference in their character designs. And honestly, personally, for me, drawing female characters is really difficult. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not as confident with drawing female characters as I am with male characters. Probably because I've been drawing male characters a lot longer than I have female characters, and my initial go-to is to design male characters. But regardless, I wanted to do this, and I think this sketch here on the left looks really cool. I think it hits all those notes of like early One Piece, you know, the big eyes, the simple nose, the eyebrows, and I've obviously put in my own little details here, like these triangular kind of almost fishman ears that, you know, like Jinbei has. And then she's got like these cool like tendrils down here, kind of almost like Splatoon actually. And then you got like these stinging like individual tentacles that hang down like long hair, which would be really interesting. And then she's on her head, she's actually got this like membrane that a lot of jellyfish have that contain a lot of like their cells and like internal like organs almost. In this like membrane, and I thought, okay, that the rest of her head can be put in there, and it'd be kind of like a cool thing, and do some cool thing with lights and stuff. And I still was wanting to run with the theme of like this character can be like not only can you function in the ocean, whereas most other characters can't, but she can also light the ship at night as well. So I thought maybe she could be some sort of bioluminescent jellyfish that has some really nice combat potential, you know, with these stinging kind of like tentacles, and then maybe I can combine that in with some maybe fishman karate she picked up during her time on Fishman Island, and so it's another layer, another like depth for the character. But those are some like developed designs that I was kind of interested in trying to explore, and I really liked. I kind of eventually dropped the anglerfish design because I just didn't think it was strong enough, and I really didn't know what to do with it. I was really struggling with trying to figure out like what to do with the hair, where to place the face, how do I make the kind of like little angler dangling light thing look natural and not weird or awkward when she's facing forward or 3/4. It looks okay from the side, but I was like, how do I make this not awkward? And because there's no other characters to kind of like draw this from, I have to like design it myself, and it's a little bit difficult. But with the jellyfish one, I think it's a little bit easier, I think. But I'll get more into that later. Next, I just want to show some like sort of like full body sketches here. Like I said, I was using references from stuff like Nami, so I was mainly using her body type initially to base this stuff off of. So she's kind of like in the same pose as Nami is doing in the reference that I had. And then I want to do kind of like a mermaid form here. I did look up references for kind of like anglerfish and see what their fins were like, and you know they were quite rotund and kind of like they start out fat and then they thin out a lot. So that's why she's a lot like wider here, and it thins out down at the bottom. They have like these weird spines that come out as well. So I wanted to put that on there because that'll be her like her mermaid form. And for the most part, I think I'm pretty happy with these. They're not really anything that special. It's just her kind of like face I designed, put on a generic body that I kind of quickly copied from the reference of Nami that I had, which looks okay. You know, I could just leave it like that, but being me, I wanted to explore it a little bit more, and I wasn't really satisfied. And this is kind of like the finished kind of like first pass that I made on the character. So we have a front and a side view here. And honestly, I will say, it is really difficult to try and get this almost like, what would you say, like jello or jelly kind of like thing on the top of her head, like this membrane that's like containing like a top of her head and a brain and everything, and all like the nerve endings or whatever. I mean, it looks cool in these, I think, and I am proud of these. It's just that I'm just not happy with it. It's really complicated to kind of like design. The rest of it, like the face, isn't really a problem. And here I switched up a little bit. I switched away more from like Nami's look, and I switched more of to Nico Robin's look, which I think is a little bit better. I guess I was thinking maybe I wanted her to be a little bit more stern, a little bit more kind of like stoic, a little bit more intimidating, or maybe just, you know, I just wanted a nice face to copy instead of just using Nami's, because Nami's is copied a little bit more often than Nico Robin's, I think, or at least I feel, in the series, and it's a little bit more recognizable. So this, by using Nico Robin's look, I think it makes her a little bit more unique. And I tried to come up with some kind of interesting, colourful, kind of like, well, colours on the character. So like a lot of pinks and blues and kind of like warm reds and oranges and stuff like that. And I am proud of the way I've managed to get kind of like the see-through membrane look on the character. But I'm just not happy with it. Like I said, it was really difficult to try and kind of translate this over just into a side view. And I think I might have bitten off more than I can chew with this design, to be honest. And looking back on it now and reflecting on it, I think it's just way too complicated. You know, I had like this weird hair that I didn't really have fully fleshed out, and these tentacles that kind of almost just trail off. I've got these like other tentacles that are coming from the back, and then I've got this awkward kind of like rounded shape here that kind of comes up and around into this almost like a dome shape. And this like undefined hair shape here, like I don't even know what this is meant to be, because it's like tucked under here, but it's also like these weird like shapes on the top of there, and I just didn't know what it was really meant to be honest. And then I translated that over into a side view, which took forever to do, and I just wasn't happy with it. I couldn't figure out how to do like these triangular elf ears from the side. You know, I struggled to do like make the hair look interesting, like it kind of almost looks like Princess Bubblegum's hair from Adventure Time, which is not what I wanted to go for. I wanted to look like tentacles, not kind of like stretched out bubblegum. And I still don't think I've got this membrane shape right at all. I don't think it lines up right. I think I've got the angle wrong. Yeah, I mean the face is okay. I don't mind it at all. It's just it's really really complicated, and I think I made it way more complicated than it ever needed to be. And I think it's just me trying to make the character way more interesting and make her way more unique than, you know, maybe somebody else would do. You know, I don't want to just make some generic One Piece crew. I want to make a unique, vibrant crew that has all sorts of different traits and kind of like interests, and have a lot of like multiple roles on the ship and within the crew, and have interesting backstories that, you know, incorporates them into the crew. And so while I initially like this design, I'm not really happy with it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm just really not happy with it at all. I think it's way too complicated. Let me know what you think of this design. Do you like it? Do you not mind it? It's a little bit sketchy. Do you think I did it okay? You know, I would love some feedback on this. I don't know. Are people bothered about it? I don't know, you know. And so I left it for a bit because I was feeling a little bit dejected and a little bit worn out and a little bit burnt out. And I was again feeling like, oh, it's way too complicated. And so I left it for a while. And then I had a pretty cool idea. What if I said, what if I instead of having her kind of like this, almost like her like early 20s, what if I roll the clock back and I make her more of a child and more of a kid character? Of all kind of like the characters in One Piece, there's not really that many kids that are like part of crews. Albeit like Buggy or Redhead Shanks that were part of Goldie Rogers' crew, and so I wanted to go for more of that of an angle, like for more of that. So I kind of almost like shifted this design and scrapped it to the side, and I made new Marianna here, where she's loosely uh, based off of characters like Otama from the Wano arc, which I think fits it a little bit better. Her face is a lot more rounder, it's a bit more looser. She's still got all the same details and beats as the previous designs. It's just that, I made her more of a kid this time. And I think the design does actually work. I kind of like almost like this big round jellyfish look where it's obscuring her face a little bit, casting a shadow. It's got this vibrant, bright blue color here, like this oceany, kind of like speckly blue that could light up in the dark and light up the ship and the ocean, that she could help and provide the crew with some essentials like light and stuff like that. If they're surrounded by total darkness, she's still got the tentacles and the stinging tentacles. I even put like these fins and gills on the side here, which is interesting. And so I like this design way more than the older design that I had. I think her being a kid is a lot better, I think. And here I've got like another kind of like design here where it's a lot more of a color change, which makes her look a little bit more vibrant. I think she's got some like purples and blues and oranges and yellows in here, and give her like some this like little top here with like a little squid character on there, just a non-descriptive squid. Yeah, I like this design a lot better than the other one. It's taken quite a while to get to it, but I'm still not happy with it. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether that my idea is stupid or whether like it doesn't work very well. You guys let me know. I want to make characters that are really interesting for you guys to learn about, and you enjoy seeing. It's just I don't feel like the design. This is it. I think that my idea is good and I think it's interesting. It's just that I don't think I was able to execute on my idea, and sometimes that's okay. If you guys are ever making designs for your own characters, whatever, and you don't feel like it's turning out very well, and you've spent a long time on it, and like maybe 2 or 3 weeks on it, and it's just not going anywhere, and you feel frustrated, and you can't get anywhere with the designs, and it's even a pain to like do from the side or 3/4. Maybe just take a step back and think, you know what? I'm clearly struggling. I'm clearly frustrated with it. I don't know what to do, and maybe it's about time. Like, I'm not saying give up, I'm just saying either leave it and come back to it much later when you got fresh eyes, or get somebody else's opinion on it, or you could just scrap it. So I've been battling with this for a little while. Do I keep it and show you guys, or do I just scrap it and just put some other video out that I can get out? I just don't really know, to be honest. So let me know whether you guys like this design, whether you like the older designs, whether you much prefer the anglerfish design of Marianna, or whether you prefer this design of the character, like the jellyfish kind of stingers. Yeah, I ended up calling her Marianna. Deep Sea Marianna was going to be her name on her like little marine poster as well, which I think is kind of cool, since there's a lot of like deep sea jellyfish that are pretty big and pretty scary and have lots of these like stinging tentacles. I mean, I can visualize the character in my head, like she's jumping around and running around. She won't have much combat potential, but she has like a little bit of Fishman karate. She's picked up her stinging tentacles. She has complete mastery over. She can like move individually, and she can grab people and shock them and paralyze them for other stronger members of the crew to come in and clean them up. It's also nice to design a character that doesn't actually have a devil fruit, because you don't want all of your characters to have to be devil fruit users. I know characters like Kaido want all of his like beast pirates to have devil fruits, because he believes that's like the strongest thing ever. But I mean, look at Luffy's crew. Not all of them have devil fruits, so that's something to think about. Not all the characters actually have to have devil fruits, and that doesn't necessarily make them weaker than other characters. But yeah, that's my design. Let me know what you think, whether you like the old Marianna design or whether you like the new sort of a kid version of Marianna. I did have this whole thing where the backstory how she, ever since as a kid or a younger kid, she was obsessed with humans and she wanted to see the surface world, and no one really understood her. And so she ran away and got caught up in these big currents, and she ended up in this in the calm belt, and where she would be fished up by our captain, and obviously she had nowhere else to go, and so they ended up taking her on board on the crew. And not only can she provide light at night for the ship, and like when they're docked, she can kind of like paralyze enemies, and she can also do all sorts of other stuff. But and also she can swim, so even if any of the other characters fall overboard, she can at least try and help to get them out of the worst of the water with some of the other members. Um, but yeah, designing merfolk and mermaids are pretty difficult. But yeah, let me know what you think of this character. What do you think of this video? Do you think I should have just scrapped it? You know, all that good stuff. So if you did like this video and found it informative or helpful or entertaining, don't forget to drop me a like, subscribe if you really enjoy the content so far, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video whenever that'll be. So thanks for watching, and bye. See you later. Hey there, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share my work around. I'll see you next time.